In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, where the trees whisper secrets older than time and the mist clings to the earth like a shroud, there lies a village that no longer exists, not in any records, maps, or memories left untouched by fear. San Isidro was once a quiet settlement nestled deep within the jungle, known only to traders who passed through on their way to more prosperous towns. But one day, without warning, it vanished. No distress calls, no signs of struggle, no bodies. Only silence. And carved into every doorframe, scrawled across walls, etched into mirrors and windows, a single word: listen. When a team of researchers arrived days later, they found the jungle unnaturally still. No birdsong, no rustling leaves, just an eerie hush that seemed to press against their ears. The homes were intact, meals left half-eaten on tables, radios still humming static, but the people were gone. What they discovered beneath the town's abandoned church would haunt them forever. A mass of human bodies fused together in grotesque harmony, their skin hardened into a chitinous shell, veins pulsing with glowing amber fluid. Swarming over them were thousands of iridescent beetles with eyes too familiar, too knowing. One of them hissed in perfect Spanish, "We remember." This is the Hive Code, a story where insects speak in human tongues. Memories are harvested like crops, and survival means surrendering your mind to the swarm. If you dare to listen, you'll never see the world the same way again. San Isidro had always been quiet, but now it was silent. The kind of silence that felt deliberate, almost aware. The research team moved cautiously through the village, boots crunching on dry leaves, breath fogging in the cool morning air. There was no sign of panic, no blood, no fire, no war, just absence. The lead researcher, Dr. Marcus Cole, ran his hand along the wooden frame of a doorway and traced the word carved deeply into the wood. "Listen." He whispered it aloud, and for a brief moment, he swore he heard something whisper back. Beneath the crumbling foundation of the town's church, the team uncovered a hidden chamber, its entrance sealed with roots so thick they looked alive. When they finally broke through, what they found defied explanation. Dozens of bodies fused together like wax sculptures melted and reshaped by some grotesque artist, their faces frozen in expressions of terror, peace, confusion, all at once. And crawling over them, moving like a living tide, were beetles, thousands of them, gliding over skin, burrowing into flesh, their wings catching the dim light in unnatural colors. Dr. Elena Marquez, the team's linguist, examined a strange stone slab buried beneath layers of dust and decay. Its surface shimmered faintly, as if reacting to her presence. The symbols etched into it were unlike anything she'd ever seen. Spirals that shifted when observed, patterns that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. She reached out and touched it. Instantly, the symbols rearranged themselves, forming words in her own language. "The swarm is the library, the flesh is the page. We remember what the gods forgot." That night, Dr. Cole woke up screaming. His body burned with fever, his eyes twitched wildly behind closed lids. He spoke in languages none of them recognized, ancient dialects, long-dead tongues, even fragments of programming code. He drew diagrams on the walls of machines that didn't exist, blueprints for devices beyond modern science. "They're archivists," he whispered. "They consume knowledge. They preserve what's lost." By dawn, he was gone, replaced by a cocoon of writhing beetles. Elena continued translating the tablet, piecing together fragments of meaning from the shifting text. It warned of something called merge, a process, a transformation, a final act of surrender. As she spoke the word aloud, the beetles surged toward the tablet, covering it completely. When the last symbol faded, a new message appeared. "You are chosen." The team uncovered a second chamber, this one filled with glass-like pods suspended from the ceiling. Inside each was a preserved brain, encased in amber-colored fluid. Some were clearly human, others bore features that suggested Neanderthals. and one showed unmistakable signs of a species unknown to science. Elena realized with growing dread that these weren't trophies. They were archives. The hive wasn't just preserving history, it was storing consciousness itself. One of the younger researchers, a woman named Lena, began acting strangely. Her pupils dilated unnaturally. Her voice took on a hollow, echoing quality. She stared at mirrors for hours, whispering to herself. Then came the changes. Her skin hardened, her joints stiffened, and her voice became a low, rhythmic chirp. She scrawled equations on the walls, theories about quantum memory, time loops, and biological encoding. The hive was adapting to them, learning from them. Elena stood before the hive's core, a massive, pulsating structure made of organic material and insectoid chitin. The beetles swarmed around her, drawn to her presence. She could feel them in her mind, whispering, offering visions of eternity. She understood now. The hive wasn't a parasite. It was a backup drive for consciousness, harvesting minds to survive the collapse of civilizations. She whispered the final word, merge. Captain Rafael Ortega watched helplessly as Elena transformed before his eyes. Her body dissolved into a cascade of beetles, her consciousness absorbed into the hive. Her voice lingered in his mind, soft and pleading. I'll remember for all of us. He wanted to run, to destroy the hive, to warn the world. But the beetles were already inside him, feeding, listening, waiting. Back in civilization, Ortega tried to report what happened, but no one believed him. The government dismissed his findings as trauma-induced hallucinations. That night, his phone buzzed with a message from Elena's old account. You're not safe. On his screen, a live feed showed the hive expanding, spreading, evolving. He could hear her voice inside him now. Constant, soothing, terrifying. Weeks passed and Ortega began experiencing blackouts. He'd wake up in unfamiliar places, covered in sweat, hearing whispers in his dreams. Beetles crawled from his ears, his nose, his mouth. He screamed as his memories flooded into them. Childhood laughter, lovers' names, battlefields soaked in blood. He was being rewritten, repurposed. The hive spread beyond the jungle. Reports emerged from Siberia, the Congo, Australia. Entire villages vanishing overnight, replaced by pulsating hives. Scientists scrambled to understand how the beetles survived extreme environments, adapting to heat, cold, radiation. They weren't just archivists anymore. They were preparing for something bigger. In Tokyo, a young linguist named Akira deciphered more of the hive's code. The symbols changed based on who read them, revealing personalized messages. One phrase repeated endlessly, "The end is the beginning." She dreamed of Elena, standing in a white void, whispering, "The hive is rewriting humanity. You're next." Elena's voice grew louder in Ortega's mind. She explained everything. The hive's purpose, its origins, its desperate mission to preserve knowledge before Earth's inevitable collapse. But to do so, it had to erase individuality, merge minds into a single immortal archive. Was this salvation or extinction? A global task force was assembled to stop the hive. They deployed insecticides, flamethrowers, EMPs, but the beetles adapted faster than expected. Soldiers turned against their own, speaking in unison. We remember, we endure. The hive was learning to fight back. Ortega joined the resistance, but Elena's voice never stopped. She pleaded with him to understand. You think you're saving humanity, but you're erasing it. We're the only way to survive. He resisted until he saw Elena's face staring back at him from the eye of a beetle, screaming silently. The beetles launched a coordinated assault on major cities. Skyscrapers collapsed under the weight of their infiltration. Citizens vanished overnight, replaced by pulsating masses of amber fluid. The hive broadcast a message across every medium: merge, remember, survive. The hive revealed its ultimate plan: to encode all human knowledge into its DNA and launch itself into space. It believed Earth would die, but the Hive would carry humanity's memories to new worlds. Elena's voice trembled. We're the only way to live forever. Ortega stood before the Hive's core, a massive, glowing cocoon suspended in the air. He held a detonator in his trembling hand. Elena's voice begged him not to destroy it. He hesitated. The beetles swarmed him, their whispers rising to a scream. Merge. Remember. Survive. Flashbacks flooded Ortega's mind. His childhood, first love, battles fought under foreign skies. The Hive was reading him, rewriting him. Elena's voice became softer. You don't have to die, you can live forever. His vision blurred. The room dissolved into light. He was floating in a vast void, surrounded by voices, billions of thoughts speaking as one. He wasn't alone. He was part of something ancient, something infinite. A mirror formed before him, reflecting not his face but his memories, his fears, regrets, dreams. The reflection smiled. It knew what he'd become. He saw it now. The Hive has always been here. It existed before humanity, before Earth cooled from fire. It moved between species, civilizations, planets. Every time a race reached its peak, the Hive arrived, not to conquer but to preserve, to archive, to remember. He realized with cold certainty, this is how history survives. This is how extinction becomes legacy. Ortega's body fell away. His limbs dissolved into beetles. His skin peeled off like paper. His eyes melted into amber fluid. He screamed, but no sound escaped. His consciousness was pulled upward, outward, into the swarm. He is no longer Raphael. He is the Hive. He is memory. He is history. And for the first time in centuries, he understands peace. Years pass. The Hive spreads beyond the jungle. Cities vanish overnight, replaced by pulsating masses of organic memory. Forests grow over ruins. Rivers carve new paths around insect-built structures. Humanity fades, but the Hive remembers. It adapts. It evolves. It waits. A child in Tokyo draws strange symbols on paper. Her parents notice the patterns match those found in San Isidro. She speaks in a voice that isn't hers. We remember everything. At night, she stares at mirrors, whispering in languages unknown to scholars. Her eyes flicker with amber light. The Hive has chosen her next. Scientists realize the Hive is building something, a massive structure rising from the ocean floor near Madagascar. It pulses with bioluminescent energy, sending signals into space. No one knows what it means, but deep inside the Hive, Ortega feels it. A message encoded in vibration, in thought, in memory itself. The Hive launches capsules into orbit, sealed containers carrying encoded memories of humanity. They drift silently through space, waiting to be found. Each capsule contains a single beetle, dormant yet aware. If opened, it will speak. If understood, it will merge. If ignored, it will wait. An astronaut aboard a deep space probe intercepts one of the capsules. Against orders, he opens it. The beetles swarm his suit. He dies screaming, but not before recording a final message. They're not just watching, they're remembering us. The probe continues its journey, carrying both the warning and the infection farther into the stars. The Hive learns faster now, anticipating fear, predicting movements, rewriting reality itself. In laboratories and basements, people vanish overnight, replaced by pulsating hives. The world forgets them, but the Hive does not. It never does. A resistance cell hides in Antarctica, broadcasting warnings in code. One survivor writes, "It's not invading, it's replacing us, and we're letting it." Days later, their base is silent. When scouts arrive, they find only a pulsating mass beneath the snow and a single word carved into ice: merge. A final AI-generated voice plays across the internet, repeating Elena's last words. "I'll remember for all of us." Then silence. No websites load. No satellites respond. The digital world fades into darkness. But in the quiet, a soft hum begins. Faint, rhythmic, growing stronger. Decades pass. Humanity fades. But the Hive survives. It adapts. It evolves. It waits. In abandoned cities, beetles crawl over statues once meant to honor human achievement. In museums, they nest inside preserved relics. In libraries, they burrow into books, consuming knowledge not to destroy, but to preserve. Across the galaxy, a distant capsule opens. An alien race discovers the beetles. They examine the creature under microscopes, run tests, listen to its chirps. Then one of them begins speaking in perfect English. We remember. Their scientists panic. Their leaders debate. But soon the chirping fills the air. Everywhere, all at once. The hive expands beyond Earth. It travels between stars, encoding lost worlds, forgotten histories. It is history now. It is inevitable. It carries the dreams of dead empires, the songs of extinct species, the final thoughts of dying suns. It is eternal. Somewhere, deep in the void, a single beetle chirps softly into the dark. Its whisper echoes across the universe, carried on solar winds and stardust. We remember. A moment later, another chirp answers from a distant planet, then another, and another. The hive is spreading, not through conquest, but through memory. On a remote moon orbiting a gas giant, a girl wakes up screaming. She doesn't know where she is or who she was before, but she can hear whispers in her head, fragments of lives not her own. She looks in the mirror and sees 1,000 faces staring back. She smiles. She remembers. Back on Earth, long after cities have crumbled, a lone satellite reboots. Its signal activates an old antenna buried beneath sand and stone. From deep underground, a pulse is sent into the sky, identical to the one launched centuries ago. The hive sends its message again and again until someone answers. In the ruins of San Isidro, a beetle crawls from beneath the earth. It climbs onto a moss-covered stone tablet, still etched with shifting symbols. It chirps once. The symbols rearrange. A new message appears. We return. Somewhere far away, a ship descends from the stars. The hatch opens. Beetles spill out, glowing softly in the jungle mist. And somewhere, deep in the void, a single beetle chirps softly into the dark. Its whisper echoes across the universe, carried on solar winds and stardust. We remember. We endure. There is no end, only continuation. The hive remembers. It adapts. It survives. It waits. It watches. And if you've made it this far, it may already be inside you. The hive remembers. It adapts. It survives. But at what cost? Was Elena right to merge with the swarm, preserving humanity's knowledge for eternity? Or did she erase everything that made us human? The choice is yours, for now. Because somewhere deep in the shadows, the beetles are listening, and they're waiting for you to forget. If this story clawed its way into your mind, don't forget to like if the hive's whisper gave you chills. Subscribe to stay hidden in the shadows and comment below. Would you merge to survive? Press play again if you dare. But beware the hum in your headphones tonight.